Alrighty, everybody. So today we finally get to rack the Boreal Forest traditional mead into its conditioning container. It has been quite a number of weeks. It looks like it's been about 4 weeks because we put this into the primary fermentation on June 29th and it is now July 24th. So it's been a solid 4.5 weeks. So we are going to take a gravity measurement to see where it is in terms of the alcohol and just to double check that it is actually done, because I hope it's done. It's been a month, but we will see. So let me grab my pipette real quick. It has been sanitized. So dip into the brew, grab a sample, close that off, taste for the brewer. All right, it is at 8.9 bricks, much better than the last time I checked it a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, she is done. She is at 0.998 for the gravity, which means that she is about 12.8% ABV. So, yay, we get to rack her today. In terms of the flavor, it was very light and honey forward, but I'm not picking up any sweetness, nor should I. Nothing too extravagant, but I'm excited to see what this is going to be like in a year, because traditionals tend to have a better tasting profile after a year. So we're going to rack it into this bottle so that it has a few months to age before I actually bottle the brew. And then I'm going to drink it and or put a couple of bottles aside to have a 6-month tasting and a 1-year tasting. And I can tell you that a few of my 1-year brews that I've gotten a taste from because I made them last year, they have been quite nice. So I'm excited to see what this is going to be like in a year. All right, so we're going to rack. We're going to put the beginning up above, the lower end there. We have our sanitized tubing going into the racking cane. There we go. And the destination in here. There we go. And put that into the siphon. And I'm keeping the cap on because I do have quite a Lee's cake here in the bottom. Stay. And so I don't want any of that Lee's in the conditioning brew. So we'll give it a couple of pumps to get it started. And we're just going to let it go. It's always riveting on racking day. But even today, she has been a bubbling away. This brew has been a bubble monster. So by bubble monster, I mean she has had a lot of CO2 in suspension. So when there was one day that I did a swirl and the airlock just was a volcano. Even now, if I can get it happening, you can see all of the CO2 bubbles inside the hose. We'll see if I'll be able to zoom in on that later, because I need both of my hands now. All right, that is that. There is some loss every time you rack, but it's expected. But also, I don't want any of the goop that is currently in the bottom of that. As you can see, all I've got in there is goop. It's muddy, it's not pleasant looking, even from above. I don't want that in my brew. All right. So now it's gonna be conditioned for a few months before it bottles. Why do I want to put it in this bottle for a couple of months before I bottle? Well, as you saw when it was in the glass fermenter, it was still pretty hazy. And so I wanted to get it off of the primary fermentation lees, because eventually if you leave the brew on the lees too long, it can start producing off flavors. Don't want that. So we put it into a new container, and adding more time for it to release more proteins and a dead yeast from suspension into the bottom of this bottle, so that when I bottle it into my other bottles, there won't be that lees in there. So now I'm going to stick a stopper or a bung with an airlock in it, and it's going to go away for a few months. And until we bottle, we'll see you again next time.